We at Gates. Oh, I thought it was a. Oh, this is the rally right here. Right. Okay, how you doing?
What's up, brother?
All right, bro.
It's glass, it won't hurt anything.
So,
I got some cookies and some cupcakes. Like it.
Are they fresh from Colorado?
yeah.
One day,
Got that out of my mind right now. I was just thinking about that.
one day they'll be fresh from my bakery.
I hope so.
Hemp edibles. Hemp edibles. What is this about right here?
Oh, that's like a normal, the national organization to reform marijuana laws.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
We right here at the hemp rally, you know, up in Fifth Street. Panning with my nigga right here, Gates.
You already know we out here.
You know what I'm saying? We standing up for, you know what I mean, the all the benefits that hemp can bring to our communities and worldwide, you know. Basically,
Very important, man. It's a medicine that a lot of people need.
basically.
You know what I mean? So it's not a drug, it's a medicine. People gotta understand that. I mean, 2-5, he pulled me out of the crib, basically. I mean, I was in the studio and all that, so I came out, you know what I mean, see what it's about, whatever, but I like it, it's a good vibe. You know what I mean?
You know, people don't understand, like, so many uses for hemp, you know, from making oil to foods, you know, to cures.
It's a plant that's from the earth, so it's for us. You know what I mean? God Himself gave it to us.
Activate
It's
the
not
pineal
man-made.
gland.
That's why they made it illegal, because it's not man-made.
Basically.
Man can't patent marijuana and say that it's his.
Famous signs.
You know what I mean? So that's what it's about right there.
You know, it's a nice crowd over here, for people all around. Like that, don't tread on me.
Good to see you.
And
Trek out here.
it's funny, you know what I mean? There could have been more people, you know, people, I don't know, they sometimes forget how to educate themselves, you know, they're too much distracted with so many things that don't mean nothing, you know. This is something important, you know. This is something that can cure, you know, a lot of people. You must have somebody in your family
Started here in a little bit
that had cancer.
Cannabis
And
Reform
look,
Rally. Thanks everybody for coming. Just going to start in a few minutes. Going to let the crowd build up a little bit. So we'll be starting here soon.
this is a young lady right here holding a sign. What it says? What it says on it? What if we all ever knew was alive, basically.
Fuel, oil, paper, food, medicine.
What made you come today out here?
I try and come all the time because we need to get this legalized.
Yes, definitely.
Too many people in prison for it.
Yeah,
For no
that's my number one. That's number one
Here we
thing.
go. There's no victim. How can it be a crime?
Exactly.
The state is not a victim.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
The only time they're a victim is when they aren't getting any fine money.
Yeah, right about that.
That's one of the reasons out of 10,000 probably when it comes to hemp,
Oh yeah.
from clothing to toilet paper.
Like you said, from fuel
Oh, yeah.
to oil,
You know,
it comes from
fuel.
everything. Yeah. It make medicine, it's cure.
To make medicine,
Cancer.
basically.
Tommy Chong, he cured his prostate cancer with it.
Oh wow!
Yes, he did.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that neither.
Yeah.
We have a page
Rick
called
Simpson.
Loud. We have a page called Loud on Facebook.
Loud? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's
I'll
about
check it
hemp,
out.
politics,
Well,
You
that's,
know, I didn't bring no
that's my
signs.
alley.
Right?
Yeah, everything about
That's my alley.
Right.
everybody say something. Oh no, that you know you smoke and you get lazy. Well, I got pictures of artists and government officials, you know, actors in there,
Oh yeah.
and they all are very successful. They smoke on a regular.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, that's one of the stereotypes.
Yeah.
They're all stupid stoners.
that's one reason why we're here, you know, to
They're
make them
all
understand.
ones that don't have their priorities right.
Yeah.
They probably
But
weren't
you
going to
know,
have them right.
But we all do. We
I
all
don't
do.
think,
We
I don't
all
think
got
it made them
problems.
not have it,
That's
you
right.
know?
You know.
If anything, it opens the mind. So
Yep. I was going to say I like that shirt, but then it looks like a Steelers shirt. Ugh.
Yeah.
We're going to start here in about 7
got some
minutes.
stuff,
It's
though.
4:13 right now. We're going to start at about 4:20.
It's a couple of people. I was out advertising it because it came out on one of my pages. I was like, wow, this is happening over here. I didn't even know.
Yeah, this is the
Last
second time I've been to Reading.
And I thought about they should start it here, but then walk to the park, and you know what? In the park,
Right?
you know, just walk
Yeah.
up, you know, and end up over there. I don't think nobody.
You have to check. I'm not sure. Sometimes that's illegal. I'm
Yeah,
not sure for here,
Yeah.
you know.
you know, I was in one of the parades in New York, and it was running smoothly for a long time. A friend of mine told me they moved it to Central Park. So they still do throw it from the helicopter up there.
Erica, you got
Throw some. New York is still kind of illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You know,
Stark.
it's illegal out there.
STARK. Ben from already. Eric and I are the co-organizers.
And what's your name?
Penny.
Penny. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Javier. They call me Carlos.
Carlos, I'll look you up.
Yeah, loud. It's called loud. Great meeting you. Throw some pictures.
It's over.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna throw some pictures of this. You know.
not a kid. All right, that's what's up. You came out here to this?
No, I was walking around this way and I was like,
I still talk to you.
I am not. Erica is, but what size medium? Okay. I'm not sure
Hempstone.
how big her size is, so. Okay, that's all right.
Like that. Can you stand that up right there?
I thought that was very interesting. Still
Cool.
to this day, it's
Cool.
keeping great.
And what made you come here today?
Oh, I've been with the Libertarian Party for a while. And, been getting a lot less than 5% of the vote they need to stay on the ballot without getting all those signatures. And
Right.
I decided to become more issue-oriented.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Whether it's Democrat, Republican, or Libertarian,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
got to
you know,
advance the issues.
we're trying because, you know, Pennsylvania is kind of slow with a lot of, with the innovation.
Yeah.
They're a little slow, but, you know, I think this is going to be one of the one of them states where it's going to take a long time to get them. But the more people stay together, you know, stand up for it, the better it will be. You know, the more awareness we share. You know.
History will show we're on the right side.
Yeah, definitely.
Prohibition
definitely.
is the real crime.
Yeah, definitely prohibition. They did that with alcohol. It didn't work.
Right.
And now look now who owns them? Who owns all the liquor stores and everything? The same government.
Yeah.
And one day they didn't want to have it, and now look. Oh yeah. So just glad to be here. You know,
I live.
I think more people in the city got to stand for this. You know, there's
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people get hurt because of this.
85% support medical, at least.
85. Look at that. 85% of the people support it. And has they done anything? Because I haven't checked on latest information.
The Senate committee just released the bill. It was supposed to come up for a vote last week, but they decided to put it off to after recess in September. They're coming back.
Oh, great.
It's supposed to come up for a vote.
Oh, I hope it
Do you
goes
think they're
through.
gonna make it legal for PA soon?
You know, I don't like Colbert. I think we have a better chance with somebody who come new. But does he got to sign it at the end?
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna have to sign it, right? He don't look like he's ready to sign it.
He's not going to be governor in January anyway.
Oh, thank God for that. Well, I'm gonna make sure I vote against him. Basically.
There's not too many people like you.
Yeah,
It's not.
no. I'm hoping that the next one comes a little more open-minded about what's going on here. You know. I have a mask. I got the anonymous mask. It would be nice if I could throw a picture with that. Just click on that. It's still running video. Just click on that right there.
For the picture?
Yeah, just click on that little thing right there. Let me put it on. You know how to
Oh, yeah. Yeah, where do you get those, man?
Oh, man. I went to eBay. Original, man.
Close enough.
But it's still good.
That's not like common knowledge, but the guy on the street got it. What are you talking about?
I don't know if it took it or not.
Yeah. Took it. But yeah, I've been representing Anonymous for a while. Yeah. I just believe that, you know, it's the only group right now, because it's not really a group. Everybody could join Anonymous. Yeah. There is no leader in it. Yeah. You know, everybody's a leader. One hand washes the other, and we all standing all around the world for the same thing. You know, for love, you know, respect, you know, loyalty to the humans, you know, not the government corporations and stuff. Yeah. So, you know, I like the fact he got the No Threat on Me flag. But I've been to a couple of rallies. I went to a gun rally the last time.
Harrisburg?
Yeah.
It was on a Saturday?
Oh my God, I was like this. Scared to death when I went over there.
That's the one I was at.
You was there?
February?
Yeah, it was there were two of them.
There's only a few people open carry.
Yeah, it was the open carry type one.
They asked how many people were concealed carry. Almost everybody raised their hand.
It was he knows, man. I was there. You know, I had to stop because I went on bus, so I ended up stopping at the bar, taking a couple of shots because I was like, man, I gotta get this thing on. Then I start walking over there and I'm looking back and forth. I got this vest and this and my thing, and I'm like looking back and forth. I make it over there. Jesus, what's the time, man? But yeah, I was real paranoid. I got there was the best thing I did. There was some other people there. As soon as I saw someone with the anonymous mask, they were like, they were ready to take a picture. You know, it was funny because they had, you know, these big guns and stuff. Yeah. But they didn't want to hold the mask and put it on themselves. It was something like, I was like, okay, you were scared of the mask. Yeah, you have a gun right now. What are you doing? You know, but yeah, I took some pictures, man. It felt good. You know, everybody like coming up to me, oh yeah, I like that. I was gonna bring mine. So you do make a difference, you know, when you stand up for stuff.
Yeah. That group formed real quick on Facebook.
Huh?
Yeah. That group?
Yeah.
The gun rally?
The gun rally?
Yeah. It formed real quick, and then I started making some friends, you know.
Oh yeah,
they kind of fell apart already.
Oh, because, if you notice the TV, the news, I remember staying over because the bus was no bus, so I found a hotel, stood over. The next day, the news, they just put like 2 minutes of it. It was like an hour, and they just put 2 minutes. And the way they put it, they didn't put nobody that really spoke the truth. You know, they didn't say, they put a guy going like this and saying like that. They made the people that went there look like they had no brains.
Yeah,
you know,
media is one of our biggest enemies.
Yeah, really. Basically.
They designed to really take the people apart, break up the unity, put out lies and false information that's not true. And if you don't have an open mind, you will take and believe everything you see on the news. So if you don't do your own research and, do your own research on what's really going on, then you're going to follow what you see on TV. Exactly.
America is just built by TV commercials.
Exactly.
Yeah, basically.
And it's like the celebrities and all that is more important than the real issues.
It's like a psychological war too. Psychological.
You know who John Hanger is? He was running for governor last year. I met him here last year. And we thought he had a good chance of winning. He was a real good public speaker. He did good in the debates, but he didn't have the money Tom Wolf had. He probably dropped out.
Yeah.
He encouraged all the other candidates to support at least medical marijuana.
Yeah.
So what he did helped the cause, really.
Really good.
Unless you have millions of dollars, you're not going to be governor.
No,
Right?
no, basically. No, you're not.
All right, how's everybody doing?
All right.
All right, we're going to get started here. Thanks everybody for coming out to the Reading Cannabis Reform Rally. We're going to talk about all aspects of cannabis reform. We're going to put the emphasis on medical cannabis because that's where the fight is right now. The state senate is currently considering medical cannabis with Senate Bill 1182. A lot of you know that it's in the Appropriations Committee right now. The Senate is on recess until the fall, but when they come back, we're going to try to get a vote in the Senate, and then hopefully we'll get medical cannabis this year. If we don't do it this year, then we'll make sure we do it next year when Tom Wolf is elected governor. We're also going to talk about industrial hemp. Hemp used to be a big crop in Pennsylvania, and it was especially big here in Berks County. And we will also talk about our efforts with decriminalization and eventually going into taxation and regulation. But our main emphasis is going to be on medical marijuana today. So thanks everybody for coming. And when Erica is ready here in a couple seconds, I'm going to hand the microphone over to her. But thanks for coming to the Reading Cannabis Reform Rally.
I didn't even know Burks used to do that.
This is Erica Lynn McBride. For those of you who don't know her, she's the one who did most of the work for this rally. This rally is not my rally, it's our rally, but she did most of the work right here. So give a round of applause for Erica McBride.
All right, welcome and thank you all for coming. As I say, showing up is more than half the battle, and we appreciate you coming here and standing up for what is right. As you may know, the Keystone Cannabis Coalition is now officially a registered nonprofit organization. While raising funds is not something that we like to do, it's something that's necessary for us to do to continue fighting for change. So I just want to take a few minutes to let you know what we have going on over at the table. We have a raffle where featured prize is a gold necklace generously donated by Jennifer Engel Designs. We have a t-shirt, we have a copy of Les's book, and we have a hemp charm bracelet as well as a pie donated by Julia and Bon Bon Bee Bakery. Over at the table, we also have voter registration forms. And I can't stress enough how important it is for each and every one of us to vote. If you're not registered, please take a second and pick up your form. Okay, now for the real reason we're here. We're here to stand up for common sense, justice, compassion, and freedom. As hopefully you all know, we're very close to historic change here in PA, which comes in the form of Senate Bill 1182. We are close, but we're not there yet. That's why it's more important than ever to make our voices heard and get involved in the political process that can bring forth this change and get this bill passed. Medical cannabis is known to help so many people, and while the parents of children, particularly with intractable epilepsy, have done a phenomenal job in changing the face of this movement, there's still too many adults that would benefit that have to be afraid to speak up and have their stories heard. Veterans have to be afraid of losing their VA benefits. Cancer patients and those who suffer from chronic pain have to worry about having their prescription pain medications taken away. You're going to hear some amazing stories today which highlight why this madness must end now. So it's my honor to kick off these stories with a testimonial from Ryan Yeager. He's a Berks County native who is unfortunately watching needless suffering in a very personal way. 8 years ago, my wife and I lost a huge part of our life, her mother. She was an awesome lady, always having a kind word for everyone she met. While she was suffering from breast cancer and battling with chemotherapy and radiation, she asked me to procure her some cannabis. I told her I couldn't do that. It wouldn't help anyway. I was ignorant. I didn't know about the studies that were being done on the subject. I was thinking that marijuana must be illegal for a reason. There must be something I don't know about. Well, that's true. There was something I didn't know about. The massive healing properties of this plant. Our ignorance was paid in full when she lost her battle in 2006. Now, however, we have another chance to right this wrong. My father-in-law is suffering from lung cancer. He's actually sitting in the oncology unit at St. Mary's Hospital in Langhorne as I pen this. 8 years later, cannabis is still illegal in PA, while 24 other states have a functional medical marijuana program that is curing cancer, among a slew of other ailments. You and I have a job to do. I don't care which side of the political line you stand on, who or what you worship. This is about humanity, our ability to change the wrong that was force-fed our parents and maybe even you years ago. I'm not a scientific person. I don't understand all the studies that I read. But I do understand that our human bodies have several systems: digestive, pulmonary, skeletal, and others. But I recently found out that there's another one called the endocannabinoid system. There's that word again, cannabinoid. Did you know that all of our cells in our bodies have a receptor for cannabis? This means that whenever you ingest the plant in any of its forms, it attaches to your cells and helps them do their jobs. That's amazing. This illegal plant actually helps our cells replicate, purge themselves of harmful toxins, and even attack mutated cells, red cancer. This year was an amazing year politically for cannabis, and our leaders in the state are coming around. We are focused on getting a working medical marijuana program in this Commonwealth. Think about all the people you know. How many of them could benefit from this? Do you know someone with cancer, HIV, AIDS, or chronic pain? How many of the people do you know that are taking some legal form of heroin for these issues? Oxy, Perks, Vicodin, the list goes on. All of these are a form of one of the harshest and most addicting drugs made in the world today. Why should we allow them, but not something that all you need to procure is some dirt, sunlight, and a seed? Let's bombard our leaders and say what's really going on in our state. 85% of your voters want this passed. Just about the same amount think it should be legal. Now, unfortunately, since Ryan wrote this, he sent me an update. His father-in-law is back in the hospital, and because he cannot keep food down, he dropped from 180 pounds to 81 pounds. And this is why this is such an urgent issue for him. And as Ryan says, bombarding our leaders is exactly what we must do. Election day is hiring and firing day. And this year we must make it our business to know which ones need to go. And one man in particular at the top comes to mind who must go. You have not already done so, contact your rep and let them know you want 1182 passed. They need to hear directly from their constituents. If your rep is supportive, thank them. It's important that the ones that are brave enough to stand up and do the right thing know that it's
big rally up in
appreciated and
Harrisburg in
noticed.
September, 15th of September.
If
you
they are
guys can
not
make it up to
supportive,
Harrisburg,
let them know
15th
that it
of
will cost
September.
them your
We
vote.
need all the people we can get
Now,
up
many
there.
of the
Tell
races
everybody
the
you know.
incumbent is
Tell everybody
running.
Yeah, September
If that's the
15th.
case in your
September
race,
15
still
in
show up and vote.
Harrisburg.
Write
Big
yourself
rally in Harrisburg.
Write
The
in
Capitol.
1182.
Right on the Capitol
Anything
steps
to let them know
outside.
that
Oh,
we're
great.
Big
paying
music,
attention.
demonstrating.
Someone recently asked
speeches.
me how this insane
be a good
prohibition
time.
happened in the first place.
Okay, I'll let everybody
and
know
how the
so
hell it was
everybody
allowed it to continue
be
for
aware.
so
That's
long.
September
On the government side,
15
it's
at the
really
Capitol
encouraging.
building.
On
In front of the
our
Capitol
side, it's apathy
in
and
Harrisburg.
enthusiasm.
There's going to be refreshments
say that
and
apathy,
a
not
lot of
hate,
awareness
is the
about the
opposite of
hemp.
love.
Absolutely.
And we're here to say
Okay.
that greed
No
and
doubt.
tyranny
Peace, my
will
brother.
no longer
Yeah,
be
thanks a lot.
tolerated.
All right, you're welcome.
We've gathered here today to replace apathy with love. This plant should be revered, not
I'm
demonized.
going to go there September.
Not only for its medicinal value, but for its ability to be a sustainable resource. Its use is fuel, food, and fiber. And certainly no one should ever go to jail for harming no one over a plant. We're here to make our collective voices heard and make it known that we are no longer going to sit quietly back and hope and pray for a return of common sense and compassion. We're here to demand it.
All right, our next speaker has a compelling personal story. She's an advocate for medical marijuana. She's doing a lot of work, and I'm going to hand it over to Nicole McClure.
Hi. Here to represent my nephew, Michael. Who has intractable epilepsy, which is a pharmaceutical-resistant form of epilepsy. No doctor can do anything for him. No medicine can help him, except for one, and it's not legal in this state. Charlotte Figgy gave us hope. She's a little girl in Colorado she's a little girl in Colorado who takes a high CBD strain of marijuana in an oil form, and it has stopped her seizures 99% of the time. She only has a seizure in the night. She's asleep. Michael has seizures every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds. Whether they're clinical or subclinical, meaning you can see them sometimes where he falls to the ground. And other times you don't know that it's happening. It's just inside of his body, a constant assault on his brain and his entire body. This bill is extremely important for him and for all Pennsylvanians. No one knows when they will need this medicine. According to a poll done by the New England Journal of Medicine, they polled all doctors across the world asking if they would ever prescribe cannabis to a breast cancer patient. In North America, 107 votes were taken. 96% of them were doctors. Our doctors in Pennsylvania. Our doctors want to be able to prescribe this to their patients. And our politicians are keeping them from doing that. They're blocking our doctors, they're blocking our patients, they're blocking all of us from this plant. The government, which I believe someone has a sign, has a patent on cannabis. This patent says there is no toxic effect from cannabis. None. Look up chemotherapy. It is a toxin. It kills healthy cells as well as bad cells, cancer cells. But cannabis doesn't kill any cells. It only helps them. I not only represent Michael, but I also represent Campaign for Compassion, which you heard the stories before I started speaking, of cancer patients, of MS patients, of veterans, of everyone that has a debilitating disease. There's over 50 stories on our website. And it started by other moms. Legalize for Lorelei, Advocate for Anna, Hannah Nader. The list goes on of children across this state that need this medicine that aren't able to get it. It is so important that you vote. We have voter registration forms up here. One man already came up and asked me what this sign was about, and I told him, and he signed up to vote because his sister also has intractable epilepsy, and he would like to see this bill passed. Senate Bill 1182. Please write to your representative, to your senator. I have papers in here of letters of support for Michael. If you would sign them, it would be great, and I will hand deliver them to your representative and to your senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. You know, when you hear stories like that, how can you not support medical cannabis? But actually, almost everybody does. 85% of the residents of Pennsylvania want medical cannabis. We want it. What's the problem? Why can't we have it? But there's so many compelling personal stories. We're going to hear another compelling personal story. Ron Stauffer here is going to read a testimony of somebody that we know who has a child that uses medical cannabis and has had pretty miraculous results. She doesn't want to be seen in public talking about it, so we're going to read her statement here now. And here's Ron Stauffer to read that.
Thanks, Les. Some of the details in this testimony have been changed in order to protect the family. Have you seen the movie Awakenings? It's based on... I'm going to have somebody hold my notes. This will be my wife, Rosie. Have you seen the movie Awakenings? It's based on a true story about a neurologist named Oliver Sacks, who begins an experimental drug therapy on a group of patients who survived the 1917 to 1928 encephalitis lethargica epidemic, only to be left in a catatonic state. I can remember watching this movie in the early 90s, and I was absolutely intrigued by the idea of something bringing these people back to life. I find it ironic now that I'm watching this happen in real life with my own child.
Hi, how you doing? Sorry about what's going on with your family member. You know, hopefully he could, you know, they
Get the medicine.
medicine, yes. With our other politics,
Yes,
that's messing everything up.
would you be interested?
Yes.
So all I gotta do is sign.
Write your name, sign your name, your address, and then your registration. It's for the, so they look, because they look you up to see if you're registered.
I mean, I'm registered.
Yeah, I'm registered too.
Whatever county you're voting, are you registered in this county?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm registered here.
I guess I should put these on. I have another pen. I'll get it.
Can't get all hot and stuff.
Y'all register to vote. You register to vote. You register to vote. Maybe you want to vote. I don't know if you right now like you smoke and there's somebody in your family that gets sick. She's trying to get signatures so they could bring the medicine over here, make it legal out here.
The bill actually is really neat. It's written really good. It should get a lot of people, not just Michael, but adults, children. What Corbett wants to do is really wants to give it to a small group of children and
You might as well just make it available to
I've got really bad back pain too, and they put me on so much fentanyl. It's crazy.
That's what I don't understand. They give you these pills at the end.
It has my testosterone level so low. Now they want to put me on something else.
thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. God bless. Takes just one person. One person try to make a change, and the story is very deep.
Thank you. I know, I'm crying. I'm sorry.
Oh God. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. It's deep, yeah.
But you know, you can't help.
The story alone is you must be going through a lot of pain. People don't understand what pain is sometimes.
Yeah.
People's healthy and they never know.
We started at 6 months old, so we've never known Michael without seizures. Which some of the kids, it started at like 12 years old, just out of the blue. Seizures just start and you don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason. They took him everywhere to get him tested.
They said that the hemp oil stopped the seizures.
Erica had said there's an endocannabinoid system. We're already producing cannabinoids in our bodies. So when you introduce the plant, it binds to those receptors that we already have. So the misfiring that's going on with the seizures, it sends out a chemical to stop it.
I can never tell because of the steady tapping of her left foot.
I've seen a video online. A girl was having a seizure and they gave her the oil.
She's avoided having
right away.
somewhere near 5,000 seizures because we decided to become criminals. I'm not suggesting for one moment that every parent of a sick child in Pennsylvania should make this decision, but I'm sure glad I did. I think it's important for me to tell this story because I know there are still members of our legislature who doubt the efficacy of this medicine. But I must ask, when there is anecdotal reports
and now they're finding that
at what point will parents speaking
by cannabis.
lead to legislators listening? Will seeing these children awaken?
Oh yeah, cannabis helping to fight
How many more
leukemia.
parents will be forced to
There's so many things going on.
burying their children?
Making so much money and everybody's like, let's give them the fake stuff. You know, this thing is natural. People going like right around the corner.
Thank you.
Make the oil,
Yeah,
make
basically.
it for whatever kid needs it, and that's it.
Thank you, Ron and Rose. And as I say, there are so many of these compelling stories, it's, all over Pennsylvania, that we have to make change. Our next speaker is just going to speak for a few minutes. This is one of my favorite speakers, one of our biggest supporters. He's a defender in Lancaster. His name is Richard B. McDonald, and I'm going to hand it over to him. Give a round of applause for Richard B. McDonald.
Hey now, it's a great guest sponsor teaching us that. So, I know, and I said at the Liberty Bell, that you also know that reefer madness is bullshit. I know that I don't need to be afraid of you. None of you are homicidal, suicidal, rapeful, or maniacal. Not a single one. And yet that's what they would say happens when you smoke a joint. Bullshit. Now, we need to join the union. We need to put up signs that you come into the state. All the neighboring states are medicinal. Here it's a crime. Here your DUI. I think they should notify people if they enter PA. Don't come here with your medicine because here it's a drug. The feds need to change it. That's what we learned at the Liberty Bell. It has to be done on a federal level. I believe Obama is going to change the scheduling of this drug. It's the last act he does. And then PA, the states, may be willing to change these laws. I give these speeches in part because I know that if you smoke weed and you smoke and drive your car 3 times in 10 years, whether you're impaired or not, you're doing 1 to 5 in state prison. You may have smoked 2 weeks ago, the shit's in you, and you're not even impaired. They know it, but you're going to jail for a very long time. Again, bullshit. If you're impaired, different. One state I heard tried to figure out what impaired is. They couldn't quite do it. They smoked people up with joints and bongs and bowls, and nobody was too impaired to drive. So they kind of, and I don't know the truth of this, have decided if your driving sucks, you're DUI. If your tail lights out and there's a roach in the ashtray, not a problem, because your driving was fine. In PA, if you have a joint, the penalty is 30 days maximum possible penalty and 6 months loss of your driving privilege. That's my next speech. Driving is a right, not a privilege, and we take it too easily. Taking it for a bowl or a joint is preposterous. It begins a downward spiral. Now the weird part about that is the papers or the paraphernalia carries up to a year in jail and a $2,500 fine. Pot, 30 days, paraphernalia, a year. Pot, $500, paraphernalia, $2,500. Sometimes if you have a joint, they also charge you with the paper it's rolled in. They might as well charge you for holding it, because your paraphernalia too. So, that's in part why I'm out giving speeches, because it's ridiculous. They're smoking bowls in Denver. I went to school in Colorado Springs. I'm ready to go to my 38th reunion this year. I may be the only person there, but I think I'm going to go.
All right.
They're smoking bowls in Seattle. I went to school law school in Salem, Oregon. I think those people heard me. Here they're deaf to us. They don't give a shit about you. It's like right here, citizens. Les is done with it. I'm done with it. So we produce these rallies to encourage everyone to agree. Prohibition is bullshit. Cannabis is great. I don't like calling it medicine because it kind of takes the fun away. I take enough drinking medicine. But for some people it is medicine. And I think that we need to change the laws, make it legal. If you commit burglary, robbery, rape, or assault, drunk, stoned, or sober, goodbye. If you're just drunk, stoned, or sober, in your room rolling dice, playing with your girl, thinking about driving fast, it's none of their business. So, free the pot people. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
Richard B. McDonald. Isn't he great? All right. Our next speaker is also a medical marijuana advocate. His name is Ron Hess. He came all the way over from York County to be here with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ron Hess. All right.
Someone for catchphrases. After that last speech, what keeps resonating in my mind is we're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore.
That's right.
One more time. We're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. I'm winging this. Years ago, I didn't need notes. Today I do, and I didn't bring them purposely. I want you to pay close attention to this. The reason I didn't need them then, and I do need them now, and I want you to see the difference, is I've got to mention. Diagnose. Now there's a reason that 15 years ago, you didn't know what dementia was. Today, there's not a person here that hasn't had their lives touched by it. Their grandmother, their aunts, their cousins, their parents. There isn't a person here that doesn't have somebody in their lives touched with autism. And you probably didn't know what it was 15 years ago. There's probably nobody here, certainly, that you don't know that doesn't have epilepsy. 15 years ago, there was a pretty good chance you didn't know what it was. There's a reason for that. There's a worldwide epidemic of these things. They started in 1976 when Monsanto introduced Roundup. It's systemic. It's put on food crops. Get taken up by the body, put into the fatty cells and up into the brain, and it causes autism, it causes dementia, it causes cerebral palsy, fibromyalgia. The list goes on. There's only one thing that'll stop it. Now, bear with me on this one. There's only one thing that'll stop it. Medical marijuana. It's not legal because the FDA doesn't approve it. Now, follow this. What's causing these diseases is approved by the FDA. Monsanto's glyphosate Roundup. That's legal. What'll cure it isn't. There's something wrong with this picture. We're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore. September 15th, let me backtrack. We almost had this 2 weeks ago. We've got 36 out of 40 senators that are prepared to vote yes. We had a problem getting it out of committee through appropriations into that Senate before, in time before the summer recess. Once it gets to the summer recess, it's going to go across over to the House. We've got a majority in the House prepared to vote yes. We've got 4 people on the Senate side that are stumbling blocks. There's a few on the House side that are stumbling blocks. They're in our way. They're in our way. We've got 84.5% of the people in Pennsylvania that want it. We got 96% of the doctors prepared to prescribe it. And you've got a few assholes that are trying to stop it. Woo, fuck that. And we're mad as hell, and we're not gonna take it anymore.
Thank you, Ron Hess. Back in January, the Law and Justice Committee of the State Senate had a hearing on medical marijuana. And one of the people that gave great testimony, personal testimony, was our next speaker. His name is Joe Boots. Joe Boots did such a fantastic job, and so when we had a rally in Harrisburg on March 31st, we said, you know what, let's bring Joe to our rally in Harrisburg. And he came, he did a great job, so we invited him back. He came all the way from Pittsburgh to address us. So ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Joe Boots.
Hey, thanks, Les. And thanks to everybody that came out today from, if you're from the area or if you're from the outskirts, what have you, whatever, it really matters. The more people that we show, the support of this, the better, obviously. And just by standing here for the past 20 minutes, we've heard a whole lot of horns honking, a whole lot of people yelling, and it seems to me like the numbers don't lie. That 85% is, so we got a hot mic. That 85% is a real number, and it's obvious here by the honking and everything. So, thanks again for coming out. Let me tell you a little backstory about myself. Like Les said, my name is Joe Boots. I'm a Pennsylvania Army National Guard veteran. I was in a combat engineer unit out of Philadelphia. Served 1 tour in Iraq. Did some pretty messed up shit. And some messed up shit happened to me, but that left me in the state that I'm in now. I have issues, and the VA is not really being very helpful as everybody is understanding that they never are to veterans. And I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis this past December after like 10 years of an untreated stress disorder. And it was when I was diagnosed with this that I learned about the SB 1182. That there was even legislation on the on the books in Pennsylvania that they were trying to get pushed through for medical marijuana. And it seemed excuse me. It seemed like I was diagnosed with that, and I was put in the hospital, and I found out about it that night in the hospital bed, about SB 1182, and it seemed like it was meant to happen. It seemed like it was my destiny to, get that diagnosis and find out that there was something on the books that needed pushed through and needed help getting pushed through, so that's when I reached out to Pittsburgh Normal, and that's why I'm here today. But if you want to hear more about the testimony, watch it on the legislation thing, because it's too emotional to bring up in a public forum on such a beautiful day. So let's talk about how the state of Pennsylvania is screwing us over. We pay so much in taxes, and we've got the absolute worst infrastructure in the country, the worst roads, the worst potholes. Why are we keeping paying these things when they're supposed to be taking care of that? They would rather spend billions of dollars a year putting people in jail for growing a plant, for smoking a plant, or for hooking their buddy up with a plant because he knows it's going to help him out after a stressful day at work so he doesn't yell at his wife and kids. Okay? Society makes it okay to go home and drink a case of beer and beat the shit out of your wife and be abusive to your kids and get in your car and drive fast and wreck and kill yourself and kill each other and kill everybody. Alcohol does that. Marijuana does none of that. When I smoke weed, the last thing I want to do is drive a car, and if I do, I'm driving below the speed limit, and I'm stopping at stop signs and waiting for them to turn green. I know we've all done it. That is a famous quote for a reason, because it is true. So I don't think that we're going to be running our cars over cliffs and causing all these all this like mayhem that everyone thinks is going to happen if medical cannabis or even full legalization of cannabis happens. The state is using money to fund the law enforcement and the drug war, which could be being used on the education system. Everyone's children is going to be the ones that suffer from this, because our deficit is such that if we continue the way that we're going without any new revenue, then we're never going to be able to bring the deficit back down to a balanced level. And so they just keep cutting spending on things that really matter, such as, like I mentioned, potholes in roads. Education is huge. They've cut the arts funding so much. I'm friends with 5 teachers that are from Pittsburgh. They want to work in Pittsburgh, but they had to leave the state to find work because the education program is cut so much that they can't pay for teachers. So why are we going to school and going to college and spending all this money if you can't even get a job in your home state doing what you want to do, which is helping the youth and educating them and furthering the knowledge of the youth and the children, because that's ultimately what matters. And we can look at the other states that have medical marijuana already. There's 24 of them, so we're almost at the tipping point, plus the District of Columbia. And once 26 states agree to medical marijuana, then, I mean, the veil has already been lifted for everyone here. You wouldn't be here if you didn't at least believe somewhat that you're being lied to by the government. For 80 years, they've been spewing propaganda and fear to protect their interests, not to protect us, the citizens who pay for them. As Ron said right before the Senate break, they decided to hold off on voting on SB 1182, and then they went on a vacation, a paid vacation that we all paid for. And that's something that I think that everyone needs to make that like such a solid point. That we pay for these, we pay for the legislation, we pay for the General Assembly, the House and the Senate, we pay for their salaries, we pay for their breaks, we pay for them to do whatever it is they do up there because they aren't doing what we want, they aren't looking out for our best interest, and it's very apparent to us. So, calling your legislator, calling your senator, that stuff really does make a difference. When we did the postcard rallies, and we just recently sent them on a national level to the Attorney General and to the President himself to reschedule marijuana, and then what was that last? 1 week later, it came out that there was talks of President Obama rescheduling marijuana. And this is after he received probably like 150,000, 200,000 postcards from citizens across the country pleading with him that this is what we want. We paid for you to be there. We voted you in office. So why are you dragging your feet on this? Why is people still getting arrested? Why is children in states where it's illegal because it's dangerous still not getting the help they need, while people with the exact same ailments in states bordering them get the treatment they need and can live a life of much better quality than the people with the same thing in Pennsylvania? The state lines are arbitrary in this case. And I think that at the end of the day, it's really important that we get Corbett out of office, for one, because he's the worst. I don't think that dude heard me, but get Corbett out. That's a huge step, because Governor Wolf, and and I'm jumping the gun by calling him governor, but I do believe that he will be the governor. But he's already supported medical marijuana. He's already supported decriminalization. He's already voiced his opinion that he understands the wasteful spending of arresting people for non-violent drug offenders and how it's killing our budget, and the money could be being used on other things, like I said, such as education and potholes and infrastructure. So I'm going to leave it with this. We're the Keystone State, and we held the colonies together. Whenever they needed direction, so back when our founding fathers were deciding what to do with this country, they looked to Pennsylvania because we held it together here. The original capital was in Philadelphia, and the democracy was basically created on Pennsylvania soil. So we have a real choice right now and a real opportunity to make an impact on the national level in a real historical way on the correct side. So it's real important to everybody to let your legislatures know, let your senators know that you wanted them to do what's right for history and what's right for the country, and that is cannabis reform. What do we want? Reform! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Reform! When do we want it?
Now! Damn it. Hey, sir.
All right. I'm going to give the microphone over here to Deb Guy from Extra Normal. She's going to briefly introduce herself.
Respect, man.
And she's going to introduce another special guest of us. Ladies and gentlemen, Deb Guy.
Hi, Reddy. How are we doing today? My name is Deb Guy. I'm the Executive Director of the Lancaster chapter of Normal. I am here today with my co-Executive Director, Albert Taylor, who is down there holding a sign, bringing them in. And his beautiful girlfriend, Julia, who bakes and does wonderful things. There are some baked goods over here for sale. I don't know if anybody knows. Unfortunately, they're not the fun kind, but they are delicious. So, we are just another link in the chain, really. Another link in this big web of family and unity, trying to create a better world for ourselves and our children. And I'm just going to leave it at that, actually, for a second. And I'm going to give you my mother, who is also part of the Lancaster chapter of Normal. She is our mouth, really. I mean, and she's got a big one. So please give it up for my mother, Connie Guy.
All right.
Thank you, Debbie. Wow. Alrighty, first of all, I got a couple of questions for you. Honestly, do not tell me a story, because I can tell when you're lying to me. I want to see how many hands go up that are already registered to vote. Look around, people. Are you standing next to somebody that has not registered to vote? Tell them to step right over here to the table. I believe we have some voter registration cards. Let me assure you of something. If you think for 1 second that your vote does not count, think again. Your vote counts, and everyone's vote counts. Right now, we have senators and state representatives who are willing to fight for us and what we believe in and what we want. They're fighting in Harrisburg for you. Yes, they may be on a summer break at the moment, but they will be coming back at the end of August. And the first line of agenda is to get Senate Bill 1182 passed in the House.
Yeah!
It will pass the Senate. We already have the votes for it. We know we do. We also only needed 102 votes in the House of Representatives. We already have 117 state representatives who have said they will sign on to this bill. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen here in Pennsylvania. Make no mistake about it. I am a patient. I suffer from fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, and degenerative joint disease of the spine. In 10 years, I will most likely be in a wheelchair. While I'm standing, and while I can still use my voice, I am going to fight strong and hard and eventually legalization. There is no reason whatsoever that people in Washington, Colorado, California, and states in between have the right to get their medicine, and we don't. There's something wrong with that picture, people. We're going to change those laws in Pennsylvania with your votes. Woo! So please, if you're not registered to vote, and yes, in a more perfect world, it would be all parties. We have a closed primary in Pennsylvania. We have a closed primary in Pennsylvania, which means you have to be a registered Democrat or Republican in order to get a vote. That's wrong. But we can make it right. You can register right now as a Libertarian, a Green Party, a Progressive, a Democrat, a Republican, or whatever the hell you want. You can register as a Green Monkey. You can vote in November. And your vote's going to count when we put a new governor into office. That governor is going to be Tom Wolf. And like the man said, he's already on board. All he's doing right now is looking at the numbers in Colorado. Did you know that in the first 6 months of legal sales in Colorado, they made over $14 million in taxes that were accountable?
That's real money.
Can you imagine what $14 million would do to a few
Basically.
How about people who are sick and need a little help with their insurance payments? Arthritis so bad in my hand right now I can't see straight. Unfortunately, I have to pay a copay to see a surgeon. That's wrong. So in the meantime, I go to my doctor and I said, Doc, I'm really hurting. So what does he do? Because I'm honest with him and I told him